The influx of boy bands trying to capitalise on the recent resurgence is still going strong, as now Australian pop rock group 5 Seconds of Summer have erupted out of nowhere onto the scene with their debut track She Looks So Perfect from their third upcoming EP, and has gone straight to number 1. From doing basic research, they seemingly gained notoriety via a shout out from One Direction member Louis Tomlinson, which led to further exposure thanks to One Direction after the Australian group supported them on their Take Me Home tour. So the question here is this: has the song reached the number 1 spot because it's a genuinely good song, or is it simply because their name has been linked to One Direction? The answer is pretty obvious, because the song itself can be summarised in 2 words: incredibly mediocre. I will say this beforehand, I'm not going to go all out and rip this song to shreds like I have in previous reviews of songs by bands like One Direction and The Vamps. Why am I willing to give this song a bit of leniency? Because 2 of the 3 members did have a hand in writing this song, so I can kind of forgive them for writing something trite. Unlike previous songs from the aforementioned British bands who have their songs written for them by other people who should really know better. The verses are full of atypical young love cliches where the main singer proclaims that despite everyone around them who is of a more sound mind than he is in unadulterated love with a random girl who's only identified as you, how they've worked so hard at maintaining their relationship despite the fact that all of them look like they've yet to hit puberty, and the protagonist is so sure that this random unidentified female is the one for him that he is urged to buy a plane ticket and a diamond ring for this girl so they can run away from the obvious shithole of a place that they currently inhabit. It's such a shithole, in fact, that we get no insight as to where they are. Also, the first verse contains this lyric that I find rather confusing: if you don't swim, you'll drown, but don't move, honey. So does that mean that he wants this girl to drown? Because as physics dictates, you stop moving in water, you'll eventually drown. Unless this girl is a backstroke perfectionist, in which case she's fine. The chorus is the protagonist's appraisal of how his love interest is standing there, wherever there is, wearing nothing but his underwear, all the while getting the brand recognition of American Apparel into the same line. How her lipstick is, quote, a work of art, and that he has a tattoo of her name in an arrow heart. All the while accompanied with a load of haze and an instrumentation which, for all intents and purposes, is actually pretty good, and I compliment the group for what I think is a decent, solid instrumentation. Overall, yeah, it's another generic song by another generic, unidentifiable boy band that, to be honest, I'll be amazed if we hear anything else from this group next year. They'll probably have another top 10 song, their third will slum it out in the top 20 for a week or 2, and then we'll more likely hear nothing else from them again. An utterly forgettable song that is mediocre, inoffensive, and hardly groundbreaking. Hell, look at it this way, it could have been a hell of a lot worse.